on the computer. Okay, we're working
What up,
there.
Zoom?
Hi Zoom. I don't think we'll
What up,
release this. Do
Gomertrons?
you think we'll release this
Probably
Hello,
not.
Zoom.
on the 3.13.1?
Actually, maybe.
Maybe we
We have
will, just in
freaking
case. Hi
Ryan Hack on
Gomertrons.
here.
That's Ryan Hack.
There he is.
Oh,
Oh!
it's so dumb. Big reveal right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, chapstick time.
Yeah, chapstick time. I got some classic cherry.
Ooh, I couldn't do that to save my life, dude.
Really?
Flavored lip gloss.
Oh,
Or,
really?
Lip gloss, chapstick lip gloss. We both have daughters, dude.
Oh yeah. I just have normal, original chapstick.
Yeah, I suppose I
Chapstick.
prefer that, but I'll take a cherry in a pinch.
Oh, okay. Burt's Bees for me all the way, baby.
Wow, that's too greasy for me.
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. What about chlorophyll? Or no. What was that?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Aquaphor.
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 Chlorophyll. Sorry.
More like chlorophore.
Bor-
More like
Aquabor.
borophyll. What's that from? Chlorophyll.
That's
More like
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
No, I will
Chlorophyll.
not make out with you.
I'm trying to learn, everybody.
All right, cool. Let's just start it up.
All right, I'm gonna say, hey, how's it going?
Mhm.
And then Steven, you want to welcome Hack?
Definitely.
All right.
So Anthony's
All right.
going to say 1, 2, 3, click. We'll all click record.
Oh wait, I already started. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, crud. Ruined.
Delete.
Ruined. Okay.
So I'll start
ready.
recording at the click when he says click, and then we'll say 1, 2, 3, clap. Anthony will say that. We'll all clap. I'll say 1, 2, 3, clap. We'll all clap, and then that lines it up.
Great.
All
All right, I'm ready.
So on click, I'll say 1, 2, 3, click. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, click. Rolling.
Yep.
All right. Ready to clap. 1, 2, 3.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, clap. Great. Hack, can you just look at the memo and make sure it's moving forward and your voice is working?
Checking it. Check. Yep. Working.
Great. Okay.
He's only in professional radio.
Yeah. Give
Yeah.
me a break.
They used to put their phones on stacks of books back then.
Did they do clapping?
Did not do clapping. That's new. I probably wouldn't have got into the business of it involved that much clapping.
Too soon, dude. Too soon.
All right. Okay.
All right,
let's
here we
do
go.
it.
Okay, here we go. Hey, how's it going over here? The week in review.
No, not week in review. You got it wrong again.
Dang it.
We are never. He got it wrong with Annie. Now he's got it wrong with Hack. You're supposed to say, "Hey, how's it going there, Ryan? What's your runner's block or something?" We're never gonna get this right.
How's it going? How's it going? We're gotta start over. It's time to start over. Here we go.
Oh, there you go. Very thematic. All right, here we are in the block. We've got a guest today. We're super excited.
Yeah.
I'm loving these guest spots. I think it's a different energy. We're kind of what we've got as far as guests. We're kind of lining up people on the Gomer team, personal friends, fan favorites from guesting past. This is our guest that we had on the Mad Max Results show on Perfect Movie. His name's Ryan Hack. Let me go through some of his credentials off the top of my head. He is the founder and CEO of livingonehanded.com. He is a published author. In particular, he wrote an amazing book called Different is Awesome, a children's book about how differences are not bad, but they're good. And he uses those two endeavors to go around and speak primarily at schools, but I know you've also spoken at corporate events and libraries and things like that around that topic of how different is awesome. Hi, Ryan.
What's up, guys?
There he is.
Kin.
Yes. Oh, you forgot to mention that, dude.
What's
He's
that?
also
Oh,
kin.
We're all kin.
He's kin to me, and he's brother-in-law to you.
Right. We were having
Super kin.
It was a Thanksgiving meal, I think. I don't know why Anthony was there, but we were having a Thanksgiving meal.
We have pictures of that meal, dude.
They are really good looking.
Yeah.
Where
We
Anthony
are
is
we are a combined 100 pounds.
right, that's true. We had to eat a lot of
Totally.
turkey to tip those
And-
scales.
Yeah, for some reason in one of the pictures, just Aaron, my wife, is eating. Like, like we must have come like hours late, and they're like, "Here's some food."
So Ryan is married to my sister Julie, and at that meal we found out, I can't even remember quite what, some distant relative of Ryan's was also a distant relative of Anthony's.
The alts, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably because my mom was also there for some reason.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, and not the alt
That's
right.
awesome.
No,
The
not
alt.
all right. It's just the,
Right.
that was their last name.
Last name. Alt.
We all found out at that meal we were all alt right. Okay, that's not true.
Well,
Okay.
not true.
So Hack's here because we have a long relationship, and we also know that he has a long relationship with his health journey. As we were talking through some things as we started Runner's Block, there was a lot of interest, I think, from him around that. Actually, if I remember right, even before Runner's Block, some of the stuff we were talking about last year, Ryan, you texted us and said, if you ever want me to guess, I have a lot to say about that.
Yep. I'm sure that's true. Yep.
And I was like, okay, hold on, because I think something's coming that I think what the kinds of things we're talking about, some of these blocks are really going to fit well. And then it was fun to think about early guests, having Ryan in soon. Ryan, I'm wondering if you can just start us out with maybe a little bit of your running and health journey, and maybe how that's brought you to wanting to maybe share some things today.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So my running journey, I was thinking about this earlier today. I remember my freshman year of high school. I've always been really fast. Like I just was a little fast guy who ran around everywhere. But I was like, I'm going to go to the cross country informational meeting in the gym at the high school.
Yeah. Yep.
And I was like, this will be great. And I went. The information was wonderful. And I was like, all right, I'll run home, and then I'll start this whole cross country thing. And I was on my way home, I was like, this is not for me. Like, this is, do people enjoy this running far? I don't get it. And,
I love that. Like,
so
the meeting was enough. The meeting was like, I did it.
Yep.
I have to run home.
I was in cross country for less than a day, and also didn't do anything but kind of run home.
Yeah, it's debatable if you were involved at all.
Yeah, I clearly was not, but I did join track my freshman year of high school. I ran the 100-meter dash. I did the 400, which is one time around the track at one meet, which was fantastic because my coach was resting people, so he had me jump in and do it. And I remember I started in lane 8, so I'm on the I'm on the outside, so I'm already staggered ahead of everyone. And the gun sounds, I take off. This is great. I'm beating everyone. First 100, second 100, third 100's going by. I'm feeling good. I turned the last corner to come down the home stretch. Yeah. And it was I figuratively, but also literally felt like I hit a wall. And I heard the entire audience who was watching all at the same time went, oh. And I basically just somehow made it to the end. I don't know if I was last or not, but I threw up and I fell over, and I just was like, I'm not ever doing that again.
No, that 400 is
that was
brutal.
not good.
I mean, because you get that burning, that burning lung feeling, and then like you're saying, it's the heaves of some sort. I don't know what it is about that one time around the track. Yeah.
I also think, you think you should be able to do it. Like, I think that's the problem. You get to 300 meters and you're like, how can I not run 400 meters? This seems like it should be so doable, and yet I'm going to die. So, but then I didn't run again for probably until you guys started the Gomer stuff. Like, I never really ran races, but when you guys started that, I remember you started with a half, and I was like, well, you guys are out of your minds, but I'll do a 5K.
And you were right.
And so, right. I was not wrong. But yeah, so I've done many 5Ks. I've done some 10Ks. I did a quarter marathon at one point. I haven't done anything above that, and I actually haven't run in a race. I haven't run a race in years. Like I think it's probably been since 2016, 17. I don't even remember. So it's been a long time running wise, just because, like I said, I don't particularly enjoy it, to be honest. Like I can do, 3 miles. I can do that. I love race days. That's great. Super fun. But just on the whole, not like a huge fan of it. Like, and so working out for me is more what I do to stay healthy. And I like that more. I think I'm a pretty intense guy. Like I'm a competitive athlete. Like that gets my blood flowing. And so when I can get in and do something with a lot of energy for a half hour, then I'm great. Like that makes me feel really good. And so that's more, as the kids say, my jam.
Right. I understand. No, I understand what you're saying.
Have you ever done boxing with Chad?
Nope, sure haven't.
You gotta do that. You gotta go to Chad's boxing place where he's the mayor.
Just walks in like he owns a place, holds court.
Yeah, seriously. It's so fun. I really want to do that when I come back this summer. Although I wonder what that would be like with masks on, like in a gym. I haven't been in a physical gym, right?
Like, yeah, that's right. We actually just renewed our gym membership, but I have not been there in a year. Yeah. And so I emailed the guy and talked to him about it and said, what should we do here? Because I'm the same way. I don't exactly know what that looks like.
So you've had the meeting. That's enough.
Exactly. We renewed it, so that's good. Yeah. So I should see the results very shortly.
That's another resume thing, dude. Has gym membership.
That's right.
The total
pays for gym.
Right. So when we were kind of picking your brain about what you wanted to bring as your block, can you tell us what the block is and maybe kind of unpack that a little bit about why you wanted to talk about it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think, I mean, I don't know how deep or vulnerable we'll get, but I feel like we might go a little deep and a little more vulnerable than usual, but sure. Great. I love that. And so mine is really about, starting over and over and over and over, year after year after year after year. And so like, I loved Anthony's, starting and how that is so difficult. And I think there's starting just from square one, period. That's a difficult thing. And then there's also just starting like to go to the gym today. That's a really tough thing to do, is just getting up in the morning and going and doing it.
Right. The daily decisions.
Exactly. And so I think more what I'm talking about is every time, and I texted this to you, was it last night that I got a Facebook memory? I had a Facebook memory that said, well, if you have it, what was it exactly?
So on this day, 11 years ago, so that's 2010, Ryan Haack, this is back when you had to write is. Remember that stupid is?
Oh, yeah.
I hated that Facebook is. The bane of my existence. Okay.
Drop the is.
Right. It's cleaner. Ryan Haack is ready to hit the reset button. Thank the Lord, tomorrow is new. And you just commented on the bottom for us. Amazing. And I wrote perfect because we knew we were recording this episode today.
Yep. And it illustrates exactly what I mean, which is every so often Facebook will remind me that 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago, I felt the same way, where I'm just like, I just have to hit the reset button. Like something's gotta happen here.
Right. And Anthony, what was your response to that? I closed it down.
I think I said something along the lines of, we can grow, but then most things never change, like stay the same, right? Like we like all things can, we can grow out of things, but a lot of things just never change, basically.
And I think also you said you didn't necessarily write that on, that's not popping up in your Facebook memories, but I think you said something like, I've said that maybe thousands of times in my head.
Right.
Oh yeah. Wait, what? Yeah. Okay. I said, do you remember what was happening right around then? Because I was wondering what that moment was 11 years ago, like if that was a moment. And You said absolutely no idea. Are we just reading the text here? I said this is what I said. I said I may not have posted it, but I've sure thought it thousands of times.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm so glad. Time for a reset. I mean, every day, every month, every quarter. This is a new quarter. Today's a new quarter.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Better post something.
Yeah, exactly. Starting fresh. Something really vague that 5 years from now I can be like, oh, I was really going through something, wasn't I?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, in fact, I remember I talked about this with my doctor and kind of explained, I was like, I'm just so tired of this cycle of where I will do really well for 4 or 5 months. I see a huge improvement. Everything seems great and easy, and I've just got everything under control. And then I just go off the rails, and it goes over and over and over. And my doctor was just looking at me with this kind of strange look on her face, and she was like, that's like the most normal thing on earth, right? Like, nearly everyone experiences that in their life. But we don't talk about it because we're embarrassed, and that, hopefully that I'll speak to that a little bit today too. But so I think for me, that's the tough thing, where I can do really well, and then I just go off the rails and I'll gain it all back. I'll just fall into those same patterns that I had before. And it's like, why? It's like I'm looking at myself doing that and I can't stop it,
Yeah. Can I ask you guys a question? Here's just a intellectual, this is going to sound like a riddle, but I actually want to know, how much time does there have to be between the stopping of whatever it is and the starting of it, whatever it is, to for you guys to consider it a restart, like the over and over thing, Haack, that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like, how much time has to go by so that you're not saying, well, that was just a hiccup and I'm back on the rails, but instead it's like, okay, I'm just back to where I started, and it's a restart, and then it takes that mental toll that you're talking about.
I think for me, so my cycle is I actually get back to where I was when I started. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
And
that's
so
a
it's like,
question.
if I'm at a, or I don't really want to throw my weight numbers out there, but like,
that's fine.
If I'm at a particular weight, and then I do really well for 5 months, get down to a weight that I want to be at. And then from that point to whenever it is, I gain that weight back. Okay. And then I'm back at square one.
All right. And that's super helpful. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me, that's kind of where I'm at now. The last couple of years, I haven't gotten back to the high number. Like, that number has come down each year. And so my doctor actually noticed that and said, hey, listen, you're actually down 10 pounds from the year before. I understand it's frustrating because the last 3 months you gained a bunch back from where you were, but annually you're actually down.
Yeah.
So that was helpful to see. But I think for me, just looking at that, that's where I would say that cycle starts for me.
Anthony, do you agree with that? I'm just wondering if it's a time thing for you, or if it's a position place, maybe, like Haack saying.
Right. I mean, there's often like little podcast things like, well, we're restarting this, or it's a new season of that.
Right. Yeah.
Or whatever, a new challenge. Right. I mean, sometimes there's an awakening, like you're like sitting in your car and you're like, I'm doing it again. Like I got 4 entrees and then pulled through someplace else, and it's like, dang it, like it's like, because that's what I was wondering with you, Ryan, like when does the backslide start? You know what I mean? Like, when does, like, if we could figure that out, like like there's some trigger that happens, and then it's like, in like the I declare war, Levi Lesko, like, okay, well, you failed here, but then you can always start again. And don't count the whole rest of the day as a failure. Like, let's say you had fast food for breakfast. Then it's like, well, screw lunch.
Right.
And then it's like, well, dinner. So I was just wondering, like, what is it that takes you off the rails?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is the $1 million question, right? Like, that's exactly what that's what I asked my therapist. Why is this happening? Like, what is the trigger? Because I can't see it. Because just like you said, it's something now. So maybe this would be a good time to bring this part of it up, because I think that one of the things, so I'll just say from the top, I'm a huge fan of therapy, and finding a good therapist for you has been so helpful for me in my life. And so if there's a really high level takeaway from this, if you're open to it, find a good therapist, and I think that would really help. So I know that that's a big ask, but it's one that I want to throw out there. But
no, that rules, dude.
One of the things that he said to me was, thanks. Thanks. I don't know why I thanked you.
Thanks for
Thank you. It was a good one, wasn't it? Because that was what I said. I was like, okay, I do really well, and then all of a sudden I start doing poorly. I can tell I'm sliding, but it's like I can't do anything about it. I can feel it, I can see it, I recognize it, and all of a sudden it's a month later, and now I'm just, and so I'm like, what is going on? And so this is one of those kind of deep things, but what he was talking about was our preferred story versus our problem story.
Okay.
And so what he was saying was, what I truly believe about myself is what I will is how I will behave. And so if I all of a sudden get on this, like, hey, my preferred story is I want to eat well every day and track my food and lose it, and I'm going to work out every day, I'm going to track my workouts, and I'm going to see the results, and I do that for a while, it's been 2, 3, 4 months. I'm feeling great. It feels awesome. This is awesome. And then all of a sudden, my brain is like, okay, this was nice. This was a really nice preferred story, but this is not what you actually believe about yourself. And so we're going to stop pretending now. Like, we're going to go back to our regularly scheduled programming of you eating at McDonald's every day, because this is more who you are. And so then I think that's where that incongruence is. And so then that's why I'm like, dang, I can feel myself becoming that person again, but I don't want to be that person. I want to be the preferred story guy. I like that guy better, And so there's this battle kind of that's going on within us of saying, what do you truly believe about yourself? Because that is what's going to manifest itself in your life. And so, like I said, I know it's a kind of a deeper level of looking at it, but I know for me, it was really helpful to see that, because just your question is perfect. I've had that question so many times where I'm like, what happened? What triggered this? And why can't I stop it? Because
it's like, if you could just be like, okay, so don't do that.
You
know what I mean? Like, what is it? If I can figure out what gets me off the rails, okay, don't do that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Or if I could figure out the secret ingredient to become a lifetime runner, let's say, right? Then I think maybe part of me, when we started Runner's Block, even though, of course, I give a lot of lip service to, you're never going to really conquer them all, and we're just trying to face them, there's still some sort of little hope in me that we could find the answer. Right.
Yeah.
But
the
all
one thing.
Right. But most of those one things, I'm trying to relate it to what you just said, Haack, because I think it's so good and deep, is like, are just too small. So I think what you're saying is that it's really a just kind of giant thing about what you believe about yourself. Am I a good person, or am I like a person that could be healthy?
Right.
Because if you don't have that really in you, then any little hiccup or misstep is just like, okay, I guess I wasn't that person.
Yeah.
All along.
Right. Well, and it's like in Atomic Habits, like he talks about, when you're setting goals, that's great. But he would rather, instead of you saying, well, I'm going to go to the gym 4 out of 7 days this week, he wants you to say, that's what I do. That's who I am. I go to the gym. Even when I don't feel like it, I go to the gym. And that's great. But if you don't actually believe that, then it's not really going to do a whole lot for you. I can say that till I'm blue in the face, but if I don't actually believe it, then it's not going to do anything. So then it becomes, how do we create that new belief within us? How do I, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a therapist, but like the neural pathways that we have, how do we change them from, I'm a failure, I never finish anything I start, I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
New things scare me, whatever they happen to be. How do I change that into I love challenges? I'm a consistent person. I
Mm-hmm.
finish what I start. How do I go from point A to point B? How do I do that? And a lot of it is self-taught, as far as, I did, I don't know, a few months ago, I did a life planning. I took a couple days and did like a life planning thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this, but if you haven't, you're going to be like, what? But like, you start at the end. You say, okay, when I die, all of the people at my funeral, what do I want them to say about me? Who's going to be there? My family, my friends, coworkers, people who know me online, maybe, whatever. Who are the people in your life that would be there? And you say, what do I want them to say about me? And then you work backwards and you say, okay, how am I going to behave today and make decisions, and the things I say and the things I do? How am I going to do that in a way that enables that to be true at the end of my life?
Yeah.
And that's a big thing. Like, that's not, that isn't like putting your shoes out at night so that you can run in the morning.
Right.
So, but
it's a big
idea. It is something, right?
Yeah.
It recalibrates the way that we think about stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know that for me, I get really excited about those big picture things. This kind of like, I haven't done that one specifically, but kind of like when I make a big goal, or I know, Anthony, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast. Like when you first sign up for a race and you first decide, yeah, I'm going to do it. It's that quarterly, like, like tomorrow's a new day, right?
Yeah.
That's very exciting. I think that if there's not the belief in place that you can actually do it, then you're just going to a cross-country meeting,
right?
And then you're at home and you're like, oh wait, I forgot, I'm not that person.
Yeah, right.
Is there? I mean, I really, I've been thinking a lot about this over and over starting thing. Is there, what kind of toll does that take on you? Do you feel like is there a mental toll or a physical toll that takes on you? We're gonna call this episode "I'm Tired of Starting Over," and you in particular wanted to add those other two overs. Yep. So it was some sort of indicator to me that you feel this pretty strongly.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something that, when I shout out Andrew, my therapist, what's up? I don't know, he's not listening, but that's one of the things I talk with him about is it's embarrassing, for me personally, it's embarrassing to look at that. And like, if you do it once, okay, but then it happens again and again, and then you just feel stupid, right? Like I feel like, why can't I figure this out? Why can I not get this right? Yeah. And it feeds into that whole, my belief system. And what do I believe about myself? Do I believe that I'm a failure and that I can't get things right? And all of that stuff, it feeds into those insecurities for me. And so I think the more it happens, the more difficult it is, which then, I remember saying that to him at, however many times I had said it to him. And he pointed out, he said, listen, you are looking at restarting as this really embarrassing, shameful, negative thing. And he was like, do you realize how much strength it takes, especially for you, to keep starting again? Like you are under this mountain of self-negativity for not getting it right. I'm doing one-handed air quotes now.
Yep.
And so he's like,
it's a thing of beauty, listener.
So it's just like, for you to keep fighting and to keep giving the energy to start again, that is a huge accomplishment. That's actually a huge thing. And that really helped me because I get covered in shame easily. And I know Stephen and I had talked about guilt versus shame. And maybe this is a kind of a good time to talk about that. Is, guilt, the way he describes it is, guilt is what you feel when you did something wrong. Shame is feeling like you are something wrong. And so if you, like you said, Anthony, I ate fast food this morning for breakfast. Guilt is, dang it, I shouldn't have eaten that. Okay, I'll eat better at lunch, or I'll do better tomorrow. That's great. That's kind of a normal thing. When you miss the mark, you don't do something that you say you're going to do, or whatever. Shame is, see, I'm a horrible, inconsistent person who can never eat right, and that's just always the way it's going to be because I'm a failure.
Wow.
And so that can be, I mean, maybe that would be kind of a key to unlocking something for some of the listeners too.
Yeah.
Where it's like, instead of saying, man, I'm not a runner, I suck, I'm inconsistent, I can't ever wake up, I'm lazy, whatever, you're defining yourself by those things. Say, yep, I didn't get up today, and that stinks, I'm upset about that, but I can do better tomorrow. I think that's it's small and also gigantic. It's
I feel
shift
like it's
in your
huge.
thinking.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's like, instead of being like, oh, I ate a disgusting breakfast, you're like, I am disgusting.
Yeah.
Or like,
exactly.
I messed up, or I am messed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put
I
it.
definitely feel that, dude. Like, that's even kind of in the I don't look like a runner thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Like, who are you to be out here doing this?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
totally.
Yeah.
My opinion is that a lot of our listeners will relate to that. Just knowing our listeners over the years, that there are so many of us, and I'll include myself in this, that really go, instead of to, I can fix this action, or I can fix this practice, maybe even is, I can change this practice in my life, to, that's hopeless because of who I am, who I've been told I am, who I believe I am. I don't know, Anthony, what do you think? Do you think that has felt to me like pretty shared among a lot of our listeners?
And I think this is a great, like, actually approaching who you think you are, I think has the potential to unlock a lot more than just actions. Right? Like, uncovering that deeper stuff, dude. That's amazing, man.
Yeah. And there's no, like, it's hard. Like, this isn't easy. Like, I'm looking at one of my note sheets from one of my sessions. And he said, dispel the beliefs of the problem story. What fuels the shame and guilt that keeps the problem story alive? Like, those are questions that are going to take a long time and a lot of work to answer. And so again, this isn't like putting your running outfit out at night so you run in the morning and it's easier to get dressed is awesome for that and perfect. But it isn't what fuels the shame and guilt that keeps the problem story alive. That's going to take a lot of introspection, a lot of work emotionally on your part, and probably will require help from other people.
Right.
There are things that I like. That's one of the reasons that I see someone, is because I'm like, I know I don't see everything in my life, and I need someone else to kind of help me with that. And there have been a couple of things that he has helped me to see, that session after session we'll be talking about something, and he'll say, in like the perfect way, he'll be like, so do you see any like elements of control that might be involved? And I'm just like, dang it, we talk about my issues with control every single time, and I still don't see it.
Yes, that sounds so like, familiar to me.
You know? And so it's simultaneously great, but also like, oh gosh, like, you kind of said this before, Tony, where it's like, some of this stuff I'm sure I will deal with a lot of this stuff my entire life. And so knowing it and being able to say, okay, this is something that is going to be a part of me, and so I need to know how best to handle it. One of the things we talked about was pain as well. And like, how do we hold pain? And that can be a part of anybody's, either your running journey, your health journey, relationships, whatever it is. Like, what do we do with pain? Because it's a part of us. And he talks about being curious about it rather than being angry at it. He said, we spend time trying to make something go away that isn't meant to go away. Seek to understand it, not to fight while the old thoughts return. And so we have these thoughts that pop in, and we get angry that we're thinking them, when it's like, we can't really help. Like, if a thought comes in, it just comes in. And then, well, okay, what do we do with it? Well, if I just get angry at it for being there, rather than saying, hey, why are you here? what am I supposed to be learning from this? I'm not going to grow from that, and so it's really just being aware of those things, and being curious, and not being hard on yourself, and not being angry that there's pain or doubt or insecurity or whatever,
Yeah.
but saying, why is that there, and what can I do about that that's more healthy,
Yeah.
Like, what is it that makes me be like, ooh, McDonald's, ooh la la? Like,
it's the sodium.
Yeah, there are some similarities.
No, but I'm telling you, it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, we're kind of, I think we're peeling away at that onion. Like, we're like, okay, it's not just that you need that bliss point right now. You're like medicating that sadness or that depression, or you're anxious, and so you need to just plop a bunch of carbs on top of that. Whereas maybe when you dig deeper, maybe that again, like I said this already, but like maybe that'll help us unlock some of the health goals we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say I appreciated what you said, Anthony. Sorry, let me start that again. Yeah, I appreciated what you said to Ryan, that when you start digging at that stuff that Anthony's talking about, you can't do it alone.
Yes.
I think that I'm just thinking about our episode with Annie last week, where she was just like, listen, I can't tell whether I'm injured sometimes. So I need to go to the running clinic. I need to go to the doctor, because I don't know myself. Right.
Yep.
And then the fear of that can keep me at home, because, oh no, my knee kind of feels weird.
Right.
Is it going to fall off or something?
Right.
We don't know. And so I love this advice, this kind of really practical advice. I wonder if we're going to hear this over and over again in Runner's Block, that take the stigma away from getting somebody to help you peel those things away from you.
Yes.
So you can see them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and I think we're all really good at self-diagnosing, like we all run that WebMD or whatever it is. And like, it's almost never right. And so like, I remember when I first started with Andrew, and he asked, just what brought you here and what's going on. And I remember that I said, so I lost my dad to suicide in 2014, for any listeners who don't know. And it's obviously a big part of my life. And I remember saying, I lost my dad, and I'm just, I'm wondering if that has affected these areas of my life, and kind of told him about those things. And I was just so sure, like I was excited to see the direct connection and correlation between my dad's death and the way I behaved. And he just was like, yeah, that's a big deal, and maybe we'll get there. But like, he's like, let's just start with what's going on. And then if it connects, it connects. And I remember being like, what a jerk. Like this is what I'm telling you.
These are my issues. You don't get it. This is the problem. Yeah.
Fix
exactly.
it.
Like, I'm telling you, here's the connection. And he was just like, yeah, there might be a connection. There probably is, but we'll get to it when we get to it, know? And it's like, and that's not something I would have figured out. And it honestly, it hasn't come up that much. Most of the issues that I'm dealing with are not directly connected to that. Like, it was just one of those things where I think I was flailing around for like, okay, what's causing this? And that was something I latched onto. And it makes some sense, but it took someone who was a professional at this, who was able to hear what I was saying and kind of unravel what was going on, to say, well, let's look at this before we look at that. And like you were saying, for an injury, or, you go to a doctor, you can say, hey, this hurts. And they're able to do what they need to do to be able to tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense that we're able to do things better together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. We're running out of time. I just want to say just a word that you said that is sticking out in my mind is cycle. And I just feel like I love the starting over and over and over again thing that you suggested, because I do feel like that's really cyclical language, right? The cycle of starting and quitting and starting and quitting and starting and quitting. I think that I just want to reiterate what you said, and I think there are listeners that need to hear this, that just because maybe you've started and quit a lot, that doesn't make you a quitter. I loved what you said, Ryan, that the strength that it takes to start again is probably a much healthier way to move forward in it, whether it's a running journey or a health journey or a creation journey or whatever you're in. I don't know. That's really sticking with me, and that feels pretty powerful. I just feel like there are some listeners that need to hear that right now.
Yeah, good. Yeah, and I mean, I think we all need to hear it, because I think shame paralyzes us. Like, shame disables us. It doesn't allow us to move forward. So while we don't like guilt, it at least allows us to move forward. Shame doesn't do that. Shame puts us in this pile of crap and says, stay here. This is where you belong.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I would just go that and say, you know, if you feel like that and you're like, nah, it's not worth it to do it again, like, it is worth it. And even if you gained more weight back and you're higher than you've ever been, that's fine. Like, you did it before, you can do it again. And you know, that's I'm in the throes of it right now, where I'm just like, I need to get this ship moving in the right direction again.
I thought we're gonna have to beep
and
something.
So I know. I like ship, instantaneously was like, I said, like a boat. We get the boat moving in the right direction. Well, I did just talk about a pile of crap, so it would make sense. But yeah, just moving in the right direction. And yeah, man, don't be ashamed of that. Like, don't let it define you. Get back up, grab a friend, see someone who can help, get a personal trainer, whatever it happens to be that works for you. Find one thing that works and then just start there and move forward.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I wrote this down earlier when I was out, and I was like, I think one of the hardest things about restarting is that you know what to expect. I think that's why it's harder to restart than it is to start.
Yep.
Because you're like, oh crap, I know what it feels like to restart, and it's not really that fun. So dude, I freaking love this this idea of the strength to restart, the strength that you have, and that's a strong thing to restart, not focusing on that you backslid, that you went off the rails, but that you're going to take that strength and restart. I love that, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Amazing. All right, listener, if you have any thoughts on this particular runner's block, I'm tired of starting over and over and over and over ad infinitum. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it. There's a lot of ways to contact us and reach out to us. The best way is to go to bit.ly/runnersblock. You can find links to all of our social media outlets there, or else you can just go to our website, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail. All of those are Two Gomers. You can call us on the phone, the Gomer phone. There's 608 small horses in that field. Now I'm going to steal them. That's right. 608 NAB Pony. 608-622-6669, dudes. Also, go to Apple Podcasts and leave us some feedback. Now's the time to do that. If you haven't left us feedback, we're almost at 500.
Ooh.
I'd love to. Well, we're sort of 450 something, 470 something. I don't know. We'd love to get to 500. That would rule. Go to Apple Podcasts right now. Leave us some feedback. If you're new and you like what you hear, check out our 10th anniversary episodes on this feed from September to November 2018. That's a great place to start. And then you can go all the way back to season 1. There's a couple ways to support the Gomers. The best way is to subscribe to the bonus disc. That's patreon.com/2gomers. We're taking a week off on Runner's Block next week. But if you're an eagle-eared listener, you'll notice that whenever we take a week break on Runner's Block, that's when Perfect Movie drops on the bonus ep. And next week, ooh, baby, the winner of March Madness Perfect Movie, James Cameron. The winner is... Well, I got a guest coming in. Wait, hold on. Hey. Wait a minute. This is not like I was going to do the...
It's me. It's me.
Hey, it's me, Arnold Schwarzenegger, star of Twins and the upcoming Triplets with Eddie Murphy. But my best role ever was playing a robot, a funny sometimes robot in Terminator 2. And thank you. Bye, Arnold. He left. We're going to be doing Terminator 2 finally. I cannot wait to freaking talk about that. You have to subscribe. Patreon.com/2gomers to hear that. Haack, do you like
Sweet
Terminator 2?
I love the Terminator.
Well, that's probably
Arnold made it his way over here. Wow.
How's that? That is quick. Well, he's a powerful man.
Hey, Ryan, how can people find you if they want to learn more
Great
about
question.
you?
They can go. So I'm mostly active on Facebook and Instagram, and it's just at Living One Handed. You can also go to my website, livingonehanded.com. I was also going to say, and I'm telling you guys this in real time, I would love to give away a signed copy of my book, Different is Awesome.
Wow.
And so whatever that looks like, I'll let Anthony and Stephen figure out a way to do that so that you can enter and win. But I'd be happy to do that. And you can purchase books on Amazon or on my site too. So I thought that would be pretty fun. Let's do it.
Yeah, check out our social media. What we'll do is we'll have Annie post a what I don't know. We'll post about your book. We'll put all your socials up there, and we'll also let people know they can communicate with us about whether they want to be in that drawing. That's really generous. And of course, if you are if you are a educator, if you are a librarian, if you work with kids and you want an amazing speaker to come and talk to, I mean, I would say mostly elementary kids you've been doing, but you've been to middle schools, you've been to high schools.
Yeah, mostly elementary. Yep. Yeah. I have 2 schools that I'm doing virtually on the East Coast in April and May, grades K through 5. So yeah, I'm either in person or virtual. I've been doing virtual visits as well, and they've been going super great. So yeah, let me know. It'd be super fun.
Kids love it. We've been able to see some of these. It would be an amazing addition to your semester. So reach out to Haack or to us, and we'll get you in contact with him about those opportunities. Now that things are opening up, we got to get you out there. Kids love it. It's amazing. All right, dude. Well, what an amazing episode. Thank you. If any listeners are feeling like motivated by this, we'd love to hear that too. We want to hear that you're starting again. You can start again. It'd be amazing.
Yeah. Thanks you guys for
having
me.
Thanks for joining us.
It was my pleasure. So I love talking about this stuff, and I really do hope that it helps people and anybody. I mean, you guys have Anthony and Steven, but if anybody wants to talk to me at all too, I mean, any of those places, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, let me know. I mean, I'm open to talking to whoever about whatever. So you always have somebody in your corner.
Awesome. All right. Great app.
Super fun, man. Remember, if we can do it, you can do it.
And happy running. Sweet.
Awesome, Ryan. Thanks, buddy.
Nice.
Okay, let's all stop together on 1, 2, 3, stop, okay?
Yep.
All right. 1, 2,